People don't know the difference between red flags and bad things. Talking about anything related to relationships or consent or creepy behavior with red pillars is a total f***ing waste of time. But let's go.
When there's a huge age gap, when it's clearly no offense, English second language, and when you're like trying to isolate somebody.
Destiny, do you understand how hypocritical it is?
First of all,
when there's a huge age gap, when it's clearly no offense, English second language, and when you're like trying to isolate somebody.
Destiny, do you understand?
I like the 3-second clip from my initial thing and your dog 2-minute video. Good one. The older millennial period 1. Nice 3-second clip. I'm sure we got the gist of what I was saying. Which was, by the way, this other girl's relationship was a guy that took her from another country who I believe was in his 50s, I think, when she was 18, which kind of weird, but in and of itself might not necessarily be horrible. But the huge red flags were, I believe he said that she wasn't allowed to have any friends or leave the house. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was from that episode. She wasn't allowed to have friends and she wasn't allowed to leave the house. Those are a way bigger deal than the age gap. Although the age gap in and of itself is already like kind of weird, but remember, age gaps are only red flags. They're not necessarily bad things. They can be bad things. But yeah, we can go back and watch that episode if somebody wants to find it.
Understand how hypocritical it is for you to be talking about this? For you to be talking about how older men dating younger women is all about manipulation?
I've never in my life said that older men dating younger women is manipulation. First of all, the average age skews a little bit higher for men anyway. I think it's on average they're about 2 years older. Now, obviously, you can go bigger depending on the relationship, but no, an older person dating a younger person is not necessarily manipulative or bad. It's just an indication that something might be wrong. That's why it's called a red flag. Oh, you can't see what I'm watching? These dumb fucks. Here you go.
Men dating younger women is all about manipulation? Dude, you have a 10-year age gap between you and your girlfriend. And
I'm sure she's my wife, but nice, true.
Not like a, oh, I'm 40, she's 30 kind of age gap. You met her when you were a 30-year-old man and she was 20.
True.
When you started dating her, you were a 30-year-old man who would have had to sneak her into a bar. Or illegal.
First of all, I don't know why I would have to sneak her into a bar, because number one, I'm pretty sure most countries in the world, the drinking age is 18 or 16. Number two, I don't know why you would assume I would sneak her into a bar. Number three, alcohol isn't even on my top list of like drugs I do all the time. But okay.
Legally buy her alcohol. Oh, and you want to talk about manipulation?
Like what other weird thing you're gonna say? Like, wow, you would have to illegally sign for her to have a rental car. Yeah, sure, but okay.
You tell me if this sounds like manipulation. You were a pretty popular streamer at the time. You were single and living in the US. A fan of yours from New Zealand invited you to come out and hang out with him. And this is where you...
That is not true. Melina was the one that invited me to come and hang out, not a random fan in New Zealand, and not her boyfriend. So that part is not true. I love how people always get bits and pieces of my life, but they don't actually know what the fuck they're talking about.
You met his 20-year-old girlfriend, Melina. Oh, and the best...
I literally went there to go and meet Melina. She was the one that reached out to me.
Part is, everything that happens after that, we all know exactly what happened because you streamed it live. Or more specifically, you let your fan act like he was in charge of your stream, so
I've never let my fan act like they're in charge of my stream.
He would be distracted with taking care of the stream while you were completely all over his absolutely shit-faced drunk girlfriend.
It wasn't just his girlfriend. She was already polyamorous at the time. She was dating him, and she literally had a fiance in New Zealand already that was not him.
Like, here's a picture from that stream. She's 20. By the way, the drinking age in New Zealand is 21. Do you...
No, it's not. Do we just, we just don't do any, we don't do any research at all for videos? Do we just say random shit, or?
We're a 30-year-old man who came to New Zealand and got an underage girl absolutely hammered drunk. And then...
What do you mean? I'm not getting any. First of all, these guys wanted to take me drinking. Okay, but so nice. Number one. Number two, it wasn't illegal. She's not underage.
And you couldn't keep your hands off her the whole time. Then after a whole day of getting them absolutely drunk, you allowed him to take over your stream. You allowed him to take over your stream so you could go in his bedroom and his girlfriend.
First of all, we'd already been. Secondly, it wasn't his bedroom. We were in a hotel. Thirdly, we did not go stream that night. Why the would I do my stream on? I've been streaming for 13 years, and I have never in my life made a mistake like that. Why the would this be the first time of all the times that this has ever happened?
And he was just so happy to have so many people commenting on the stream he was in charge of. He just sat there while you did it. And then you want to talk about how it's real manipulating to isolate a girl from all her friends and family? How about when you took Melina from New Zealand to the US? You isolated her from everyone she's ever known. You isolated her from every member of her family.
kind of true. She is isolated in the U.S., but she can always go back to Sweden. It's not like I forced her to stay in the U.S. If she wanted to go back, she could. In fact, she did multiple times. She could only stay in the U.S. for, I think it's 90-day stretches at a time, because that's how the visa waiver, God, my brain is dying. What's the name of the visa waiver application in the United States? I don't even know it right now. My brain is leaking out of my head. Oh, they asked a visa waiver shit. She couldn't even stay here for more than 3 months at a time.
Enjoyer.
So none of this, so none of this even makes sense. No, she was not locked here the entire fucking time.
How about when you took Melina from New Zealand to the U.S.?
Also took her from New Zealand. She's not even from New Zealand. She's from Sweden.
You isolated her from everyone she's ever known. You isolated her.
Why even give these guys the time of day?
She was already
Seems like
isolated. Like, she was already in New Zealand. She'd already gone there with another guy and then was engaged to another guy. I didn't take her from anywhere. She was already in New Zealand, isolated from her friends and family, because her friends and family all lived in Sweden.
Member of her family. You took her to the other side of the planet and made her completely reliant on you. A 30-year-old man took a 20-year-old girl to the other side of the world, and you were all she knew. Now, you obviously weren't too good at manipulating her long-term, because now she has like 30 boyfriends.
She already was dating a guy, had a fiance, might have been dating another guy or two. I don't even know. I know she had at least two. Our relationship was open literally from the very start. That was the only reason I was willing to try a relationship with her. It's like, this guy is like a collection of like random tidbits.
But dude, you were literally doing some passport bro shit.
No. Passport bro shit is, the admission is one, you can't get a Western woman. All of my prior girlfriends, and 99% of the women I hook up with, are Western women, number one. Number two, the goal is to find somebody that you can exert great financial pressure over, okay? Which I guess you can argue no, I'm not even gonna grant you that. Grabbing somebody from a poor country is different than and I understand these guys don't know, because a lot of these guys have never left the U.S. This guy looks like the farthest he's probably gone is from Nebraska to Kentucky to go and a cousin that lives out of state, right? You can't abduct people generally from like France, Sweden, Germany, Italy, because these are like first world Western countries. They're not like in financial destitution where they're looking to a white person. Like if I go to France, I'm like, hey, just so you know, I'm American. People are gonna look at me like, okay, I guess that's cool, right? It's a lot different than when you're in South America or when you're in Eastern Europe, and some people look at you like, you're American? How fucking loaded are you, chief? Right? It's a way different vibe. But also, on top of all that, it's not even necessarily bad to pick up a girlfriend from one of these countries. It's just when your goal is to explicitly find women from these countries who are dramatically younger than you, who live in financial destitution, when you're explicitly trying to do that, that's really creepy. If you think I'm doing that, then fine, knock yourself out. But you're just wrong or retarded. I have no history of it. Me and Melina's biggest fights generally stem from our age gap. Like, it's not like I'm out here looking for 20-year-olds. Jesus.
Except instead of manipulating poor women with an American...
So there are no poor people in those countries who want celebrity status and money? I'm sure you can find some of them. I'm sure they're out there.
Passport? You manipulated a 20-year-old girl with underage drinking and a chance at fame. Ooh.
Nice. Underage drinking. Nice. Chance of fame. For the first year we were together, I don't even think she streamed. I don't even think she wanted to stream. I still don't even know if she wants to stream.
That's not even passport, bro. That's like Harvey Weinstein type of shit. And look, dude, I definitely agree that there should be a conversation about people in relationships manipulating each other. And maybe there should be a long talk about older men being able to manipulate younger women. But there is no way that you should be involved in that conversation. Everything you advocate against, you did. And the best part is you can't deny any of it, because the live stream still exists online. We can all go watch you get an underage girl drunk and fuck her later that night.
We were already I don't need to get people drunk to them, bro. Well, again, unlike you, who's probably getting his fucking cousin or sister wasted, okay, so that she'll play the let's look at each other's cards game, right? Jesus.
Did that? You streamed that. What the are you talking about?
Any conversations with Redpillers relating to relationships or anything related to it is entirely a waste of time. Jesus.